Bye.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Um, our viewers, the brothers and the sisters. So we are just here today just to have a little bit of conversation, or let's say talk about something that some people might not know about, or some people might even know more about it. And I have here today my brother Ridwan Zakariyyah. How are you doing today, brother?
Yeah, I'm doing good. What about you? I'm fine. I'm doing
I'm
well.
doing great. I'm doing great, thank you. Also,
Alhamdulillah.
and how is Ramadan going on with you?
Actually, it's quite challenging here, being the first time I'm here. But yeah, it's going well. Alhamdulillah so far.
Okay, that's good. So, what we are going to be talking about today is just something that you know you know the topic already. So, but I'm just going to repeat the topic for the viewers at home, which is spiritual well-being of a Muslim in Ramadan. So, what can you tell us about that? Just the meaning or the benefits, or what we need to know about like the well-being of a Muslim spiritually?
Okay, so thank you for that. Actually, I can start by saying no. So spiritual well-being of a Muslim in Ramadan. So we need to kind of break it down. So we have well-being and we have spiritual. So what is well-being? Well-being actually is the state of being comfortable, happy, and healthy. So this is well-being. Being comfortable, happy, and healthy. So this is well-being. So when we kind of so that is well-being. And we know well-being can be divided into four, for example. So we have physical well-being, which is related to the nutrition that we have every day. Then we have social well-being. We have as well emotional well-being, and we have spiritual well-being, right? So these are four categories. So, but in this conversation, we are going to focus on spiritual well-being of a Muslim. So, as Muslims, our spirituality is the most important factor in our well-being. So, we cannot expect to live a happy life, fulfilled life without having a strong relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So submission to the one who created us is one of our purpose in life. And without it, we cannot have a happy life. So that is spiritual well-being in a nutshell.
So you're trying to say, as a Muslim, so
Yeah.
if you can have your well-being, but if you don't have that well-being spiritually, then you won't have a happy life. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean as a Muslim spiritually. So that well-being need to be spiritual because we said well-being is the state, the
Okay.
state of being healthy, happy, you understand, and comfortable as
Yeah.
well. And comfortable.
Okay.
So it's a kind of a state of mind, we can say like that, a state of mind. And when we connect it to spirituality, so spirituality it becomes spiritual well-being, which is a state of mind whereby you feel comfortable, you feel happy, you feel healthy as well. But this spiritual well-being is kind of um uh, a metaphysical spectrum, not a physical
Okay.
spectrum. I said we have four categories of well-being. We have the physical well-being, we have the social well-being, we have the emotional well-being as well, and we have spiritual well-being. So now we're talking about spiritual well-being, and this is really linked to metaphysical spectrum or metaphysical issues. As you know, like a human being, we are created from we can say two realm. So realm belonging to the heart and realm belonging to the heaven. So this heaven can be referred to as kind of metaphysical. So metaphysical are the things that cannot be seen, they cannot be seen by the physical eyes. You understand? So these are
Yeah.
beyond what we can see with our eyes. That is why we see metaphysical. So we have physical and metaphysical. So a human being is composed of these two things. As you know, that we are created from soil and from heaven as well. So the first creature on the surface of the earth, which is Prophet Adam, is created from these two things: from the soil that was taken from the earth, and also the soul that was breathed into him. So this soul is a metaphysical issue. It's a metaphysical realm. So we are composed of these two. But our conversation is mainly about the spiritual aspect. So spiritual well-being is a way whereby we try to connect with Allah.
Okay.
We try to enhance our relationship, our connection with Allah, with the divine being. You understand?
Okay.
So this is not
Yeah.
about the spiritual. Yeah, so this is the spiritual well-being that we're talking about, and we can see a lot of evidence for that. For example, in hadith, for example, we have this hadith of hadith in the بينما نحن جلوس عند النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم.
Sallallahu
uh,
alaihi wasallam.
so one of the companions, I think it was Umar radiallahu anhu. He was the one that was Umar radiallahu anhu. He was the one that was talking. So he said while we were with Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, so a stranger came to us. And this stranger sat beside Prophet Muhammad. He rested his hand on his knee and he started asking some question. He started asking Prophet Muhammad some question. So he asked him some three things. One of the major things that he asked was first, he asked him about Akhbini Anil Islam.
Uh,
Akhbini Anil Islam. So he asked him about Islam and he asked him about Iman. Islam is the Islam. When you ask Islam is kind of the devotional act, which is, and he
okay.
said, "No, what Islam?" And he said, "Islam is anta shahada Allah ilaha illallah." You have to testify that there is no the testimony that there is no God except Allah alone, and the Prophet Muhammad is the messenger of
Sallallahu alaihi
Allah,
wasallam.
sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and also by praying and zakat and all that kind of stuff. So then after that we have the iman. He asked him about the articles of faith. Akhbirna al Iman. He asked him about the article of faith, and he said, Al Iman Billah, believe in Allah, believe in His Prophet, believe in His angels, believe in the books that were sent down to the prophets, and also in the in the hereafter, or the last day of judgment. So then after that, the last question that he asked was Akhbirni anil Ihsan. So Ihsan here, most of the prophetic commentator. So most of the prophetic commentators do say that here is the point of reference of spirituality in Islam. Okay,
Okay.
so that is why when he asked, he said, "Akhbirna anil ihsan." So tell me, what is ihsan? What is ihsan? So that was the third question, and he said, "Al ihsan, an ta'bud Allah ka'annaka tarah, is for you to worship Allah as if you are saying Him.
Yeah.
Wa in lam takun tarahu, and even if you don't see Him, fa innahu yaraka. Know surely that He is seeing you." So this salat is a way of creating a connection and a link with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a way of creating this metaphysical link, metaphysical connection with Allah. So it's a way whereby we try to establish this spiritual state that we can feel comfortable, we can feel happy, and also
Yeah.
healthy, mentally healthy as well. So yeah, there's that.
I just have a kind of a quick question, which is kind of, you know, the well-being of a Muslim should be spiritually for you to be happy, as you've said earlier. So, do you
Yeah.
think like having your well-being spiritually, do you think the way you should do go away with that in Ramadan is different from the way you should go away with that without Ramadan? Or should you just have the same kind of well-being spiritually all through?
Actually, I think although they have two opinions that the scholars hold, you see some scholars are going to say, okay, of course you have to be consistent, you have to be very, very spiritual, religiously. I mean, so before Ramadan and even during Ramadan, but during Ramadan, because we have this, there has some hadiths there are some prophetic traditions that prove that Ramadan itself is a month of blessings, is a month whereby anything you ask for is going to be answered. Of course, if you ask Allah in other months your prayer is going to be answered as well. But there is this kind of special, there's this kind of idiosyncratic feature for Ramadan,
Yeah.
which you cannot have, we don't have in the other months. Some kind of very, very significant features for Ramadan, which is the reason why those scholar, the first scholar, they say, okay, of course you have to be very, very spiritual in the other months, but in doing Ramadan, you have to increase your spirituality. You have to increase your ibadah. You have to increase your charity. You have to increase the way you try to connect yourself. You have to increase your spiritual well-being by doing a lot of askar, by doing a lot of tahajjud, by doing a lot of praying, nawafil, this additional devotional act. You understand? So you have to
Uh,
increase them. They have to be more. For example, maybe okay, before Ramadan, you are, for example, reading maybe 2 pages of Quran a day. So in
uh,
Ramadan, you have to increase it to like 5 pages, for example, or 10 pages, for example. You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
So this is what the scholars say. The first scholar say. So the second view is that no, you have to be consistent, regardless of whether you're in the Ramadan or not. You have to be consistent. So what matter is the quality, not quantity. So and you say, no matter how little the work is, so far you are very, very consistent, then it's going to be appreciated and recognized by Allah. So what matters here is the quality of your work and is the consistency of you. But for example, if it is 2 pages that you are able to read a day in Ramadan, so be it. But you just have to, at least the 2 pages should be a reading of contemplation, a reading of pondering. You don't just
Mhm.
not just merely reading, like just reading Quran. No, it should be a reading whereby you contemplate on each verse of the Quran. You contemplate, okay, what is the meaning? What is it trying to say here? You try to contemplate on it. So that is what really matters. So that's it. So I really go with the second opinion that of course you have to be very, very consistent, and consistency matters a lot. So not, you don't just say okay, because for example maybe before you're not kind of reading Quran before, but when Ramadan comes you start reading Quran, and after Ramadan goes you stop reading Quran. That doesn't make sense. So you have to be very, very consistent. Make it a habit of reading Quran every day, rather in the Ramadan or not. Okay. But yeah, it is kind of advisable for you to increase your ibadah and your worship in Ramadan. But at least what really matters is for you to be consistent. Rather in the Ramadan, whether you're in the Ramadan or not, you have to be consistent. So yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah. So understanding from what you just said, it's consistency you go for, which is kind of what I think is the best also, because if you are consistent, so you will just feel comfortable in Ramadan because you just continue to do what you've been doing, not you trying to do something, and you might also skip some things also while you're trying to do it.
Yeah.
And also, we all know an hadith that says when the guy came to the Prophet ﷺ to ask that, can you tell me which of this work I can be doing, which is the best in the face of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala? And the guy said, the Prophet ﷺ replied him with, he says, "As-salatu fi waqtiha,
أفضل الأعمال أفضل الأعمال
al-abdalin."
أدومها
Yeah.
وإن قل. أفضل الأعمال
So
أدومها وإن قلت. نعم.
yeah, so the reason I brought out that hadith is just for you to tell us, how do you think we can feel comfortable, or how do you think we can also like all the guidance for us to feel comfortable in any particular spiritual practices, just for us to maybe get in touch. For example, you said before that you might be reading the Quran 2 pages before. You just need to do more in Ramadan. So how do you think we can feel comfortable in that? Like trying to do more, and we can also feel comfortable in doing it, not we trying to force ourselves in doing it.
Actually, what we really need to know is that all these things we are doing it for God alone, for Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. Therefore, the basis that we need to move on, or the foundation that we need to move from, should be sincerity, which is ikhlas. Ikhlas first should be one of the foundation is ikhlas, that Allah lillahi din al khalis. So sincerity belongs to Allah alone. So religion is about sincerity. Religion is about what? Sincerity. So being sincere in what you want to do, knowing that okay, what I wanted to do, or this ibadah that I wanted to do, this act of worship, I'm doing it solely for Allah alone, not for vainglory, not for praising, not for the reason maybe I can get some praise or some approval from someone, or maybe people might think of me, oh, now you are now a good Muslims. I can see now you are really committed. You're now like praying at the time, you're reading Quran. No, no, I'm doing it for Allah alone. That should be
Yeah.
the foundation, sincerity, right? We have to be very, very sincere in the ibadah. And second, we should know that all these things we are doing it for Allah. We are worshiping, we are using it, we are doing it as an act of worship. And there is a reward for it. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Allah say, I didn't create the humans and the jinn except for them to be worshiping me. So this is the purpose of life, worshiping Allah alone. So if you have these two foundation, al ikhlas, which is the sincerity, and the act that everything you're doing it as an act of worship, then I think you will feel comfortable spiritually when you're reading the Quran, because when you're reading it, you feel this vibe, you feel this energy, you feel these the hadith that the Prophet said that man qara harfan min kitabillah falikulli harfin hasana. Anyone who reads the Quran, so he's going to be rewarded based on each word, each letter of the verses. Okay, and he
Yeah.
said, La akulu alif lam mim harf. No, I'm not saying alif lam mim is a harf. No, alif itself is a harf, which he will be rewarded for. Lam itself is a, you understand, is an harf, which he will be rewarded for. And mim
Yeah.
as well. So meaning, if you are reading with this intention, with this sincerity first, that I'm doing it for Allah alone, not just to
Yeah.
get some approval from human being, you understand? Or to get
Yeah.
or to vainglory, or maybe people should think good about me, or people should say, okay, now you are a religious person, or people should say now you are very, very committed, you are a devout Muslims, and so on and so forth. Not because of all that kind of stuff. You're doing it for Allah alone. First and second, you're doing it as an act of worship. If this is the basis and this is the foundation, then I think by reading Quran you're going to feel comfortable. So that even the more you read it and the more you have this in mind that okay, yeah, this I have sincerity and I'm doing it as an act of worship and Allah is going to reward me, then this will be some sort of something that will incentivize you. It's going to encourage you, it's going to motivate you morally and spiritually as well to do more, to engage in a lot of to engage in a lot of religious activities and in a lot of ibadah and in a lot of worship. So it's, for example, maybe you're reading 2 pages before, but if you know that okay, now I'm doing this as an act of worship, and Allah will reward me based on each harf with
Mm-hmm.
hasana, then I need to read as much as possible so that I can get a lot of rewards from Allah alone.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand? So this is going to kind of it's going to be some sort of incentivity. It's going to incentivize you. It's going to motivate you. It's going to be kind of some sort of inspiration for you. It's going to inspire you to do more. You understand?
Mm.
So with this
Mm.
inspiration comes the comfort that we're talking about. So with this inspiration, it comes along with comfort. So you're going to feel comfortable in you. The more you're reading it,
Mm-hmm.
because you know, okay, if I read 4 pages, then I'm going to get more rewards than reading 2 pages. If I read 10
Yeah.
pages, I'm going to get more rewards than reading 4 pages. So you're going to get rewards from Allah alone. All these things that you're doing it as an act of worship, and at the same time, you're going to get rewards on each harf. So with this, you're going to feel comfortable that okay, yeah, I'm just what am I doing here? I'm just fulfilling Allah's commandment, Allah's wish. So yeah, so with
Yeah.
this, you will feel this is how you're going to feel comfortable spiritually. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
just to buttress what you've just said is the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that says that if you read the Quran and you're reading it perfectly, so you get one reward, and if you read it and you're striving to read it, so you're going to get two rewards, which is kind of the reward for you striving to read it and the reward of you reading the Quran. So
Yeah,
and also this is to buttress what you've said also is kind of like when you're trying to like you have in your mentality saying yeah I'm getting a very good reward for doing this from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then this is going to encourage you more to do
yeah,
to do more of what you're doing, like reading the Quran and all that. And what do you think again, like what do you think of about I think first thing to come into everybody's mind is we should just have the taste of worshiping God, saying, yeah, I want to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if
Yeah.
you have that taste, saying, yeah, I'm hungry, like when you want food, you know how desperate you want it and how desperate you can go for to get that food. So which is kind of, yeah, I want to worship Allah. So you should know how, what is it called? You should know how you would worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So and because it's going to be a very short video tonight, because it's just an impromptu video for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So so what do you want to add more? What do you think we can add again, just for to make for
Yeah.
people's advantage?
Yeah, for people's advantage, as we are going to be talking more about this topic, so this is just an introduction. I think what we really need to know is that spirituality is one of the core factors of a human being. So, like one of the core aspects of our well-being. So, it's very important. We need to take care of our spirituality. Everything is not just about physical things or physicality, because a lot of people are really materialistic and they don't really care about their spirituality, and which is wrong. Spirituality is very important. You need to you need to look for a way to establish that connection between you and the divine being, which is Allah, the independent being, the creator of the universe. You need to create this connection because this connection is going to kind of facilitate the process of you being a virtuous person, and also is going to help you to remove all the vices in you and to purify your souls, and it will keep you ahead in the spiritual striving, and it will kind of let you elevate, let you evolve to that stage of what is the mystical call readiness of the soul. Readiness of the soul. So by purifying your soul, which is a spiritual self, by purifying your soul, by trying to be a good person, by trying to create that link, that connection between you and Allah, by doing azkar, remembrance of Allah, by reading Quran, a lot of pages, by doing some nawafil, by doing some devotional act and some charity, some good act as well. All these are going to kind of channel your spiritual state, and it's going to help you to elevate. So when this spiritual well-being, when it elevates and it evolves, it's going to kind of reflect on your on your mental state, which is going to make you more, it's going to make you happy, and it's going to make you to feel more comfortable, which is kind of very, very important. And people cannot really, you cannot do without spirituality. Spirituality is very important, and we need to really give it a huge concern. So we need to care much about it. We need to think about it. We need to try to look for how to evolve spiritually and how to understand how we can create that connection. Because spiritual well-being is very, very important. Without your spiritual well-being, you cannot feel happy in this life. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm just going to ask just the last question before we leave. It's
Okay.
kind of, as a Muslim, let's say now that maybe I'm just a Muslim, not a practicing Muslim before, and I would like to evolve in my spiritual life as a Muslim. So do you think I have maybe one practice of Islam to start with at first, or do you think I should just pick like one of everything and still not get them right, or just focus on one thing then get it right?
Actually, what I would say is that as a Muslim, as a Muslim that is not a someone that is not a practical Muslim, that is not committed Muslim, so the person needs to start with being committed to the obligatory acts. For example, salawat, praying the 5 daily prayers is very compulsory. It's obligatory. You need to be very, very committed to it. That is where you need to start first. Try to be very, very committed to it. It's very, very important. Then after that, we move to the so fasting, and after that, we move to Hajj if you're capable. So we need to start with the obligatory ones. Don't lie, don't cheat, don't all that kind of things. You need to start with them first. Then after you've already kind of you see that now you are committed to all these obligatory acts or devotional acts. If you see that you're now committed to it, then after that you can move to the those that are not obligatory, that are not compulsory, that you can do, like you can do it if you want and you can do it if you don't want. Then you can move to that. So we need to start from there first. So then after that, then you can go to where you see that you are capable of doing, for example, maybe reading Quran is what you feel comfortable doing, or it's very, very much easier for you to do, then so be it. You can go with it. And if it is just doing charity that you're capable of, you can also go with it. Okay. So yeah, but you need to start with the obligatory one first, because you cannot just ignore and just leave away the necessary things and go to the superfluous things. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You need to start with the necessary things, the obligatory one, and after that you move to the non-obligatory. So that
Yeah,
is how
I
we.
know, I know that is kind of like when we are talking about the obligatory and
Yeah,
which one is not obligatory. I know that is
yeah,
kind of like a topic for another day, but
yeah,
because it's a very broad topic, because
yeah,
people, especially we Muslims this time and day, we don't know which one is the obligatory. We put the one which
yeah.
is not compulsory in front of the one which is obligatory at this time.
Yeah,
So, but I'm
that's
talking about that. You mentioned Salah, which is
yeah.
trying to pray Salah.
Mhm.
Just try at least pray Salah every
Five daily,
time.
yeah, five
So
daily
I
prayers.
know this question I'm asking is kind of like a question for another day, which is kind of a long topic. But I'm just
Mhm.
going to ask you to a little bit summarize that in 1 or 2 minutes before we go. That
Okay,
Salat, I want to pray
okay,
Salat, and as what is it called? As a new practicing Muslim, which if I say as a new practicing Muslim, that means I don't really know how to recite the Quran. So, and I don't have that much time to go and pray like at the back of any imam. So, do you think finding that time is the best, or can I just pray alone? And having in mind, I said I don't really know how to recite the Quran. So, what do you think? Do you think I should just have faith? Then you know what people used to say, like, yeah, the faith is with God is not from what I'm reciting. So that's how. So, what do you think?
Actually, actually, what I would say to that is, you see, when we someone embraces Islam and someone is a new practicing Muslim, he doesn't know how to pray. So, what the first person needs to do, since the person know that okay, I'm doing this for Allah alone, for the sake of Allah, then you need to do it in the right way. You cannot just say, okay, because you're just a new Muslim that just embraces Islam, who just embraces Islam and doesn't know how to pray. Yes. Therefore, I can just do anyhow I like or just do it in some random way. No, you need to do it in the right way. So Islam itself has its own protocol, its own schedule, its own like how it organizes everything. Okay, its steps and procedure. You need to follow this procedure. Okay, so you just accept Islam. What you need to do, since you don't know how to recite some surah, therefore you need to be going to the mosque, because you need to pray behind someone who has already expertise, who has already perfected how to read Quran, who knows how to read Quran. You need to pray at the behind the person. Okay, meaning you have to go to the mosque, and at the same time, you should try to look for someone who is a scholar in Quranic recitation, who has already perfected reading recitation of the Quran, to be teaching you how to pray, because you need to know how to. It's very necessary. There is this hadith that says you have to seek knowledge. طلب العلم فريضة على كل مسلم ومسلمة. Seeking knowledge is compulsory for Muslims. Okay, what kind of knowledge? Of course, knowledge in general, but knowledge of
Yeah,
that which is necessary for your religion is compulsory, because you
yeah,
have
yeah.
to seek for the knowledge. So knowledge of that which is necessary for your religion is also compulsory as well. So you need to seek that knowledge. So seeking that knowledge, and at the same time you'll be going to the mosque to pray behind imam, for example, or behind someone who has already memorized and perfected recitation of the Quran. So that is how I see, in my own opinion, that is how they need to do it, not just some random way and just praying the way you like. So yeah, so that's what I would say to that question. And thank you.
So what you said in short words is kind of like the best thing for a new practicing Muslim who does not know how to recite the Quran needs
Yeah,
to go and follow somebody because you don't know how to do it. So, and
yeah.
because you are now a new Muslim, we can't say just because you're a new Muslim, then we need to treat you as a new Muslim, then you can do whatever you like because this is the religion of Allah, not our religion. So we cannot say, yeah, you can do
We
whatever you
cannot
like just
bend the
because.
rules for you. Yeah,
Yeah,
the rules have to
exactly.
be
So
bent. So because
yeah, exactly. It's just
in Islam we say we have two type of rules. We have immutable rules that doesn't
mhm,
change, and we have changeable rules. You
yeah.
understand? الثوابت التي لا تتغير.
Yeah.
regardless of the time, of the location, of the places, of the zaman, or makan, or shaks. La tataghayyar. We have some
Yeah.
sawabit like that. That doesn't change, regardless of who you are. It doesn't change.
Yeah.
Then we have the changeable things. You understand? So yeah, that's it. So out of
It's
the
not about
unchangeable things,
changeable. What we can bend, isn't it? What we can bend, not what we can change, because it's.
yeah, changeable is what that we can bend. Of course, we can bend the rules for some people. We can say, okay, due to your social context or due to your situation, due to your
Yeah. Yeah.
circumstances, therefore it is permissible for you to do it like this, or it is permissible for you to
Yeah.
do it like this. Right? So that
Yeah.
one is kind of possible. But when we're
So it's
talking
kind of
about
like you
the
not telling somebody,
immutable,
you're not telling somebody saying yeah because you're a new Muslim. You don't need to
yeah.
recite the
No,
fact
no,
how
no,
you can
no,
read it
no.
in
This is
English language. No, no.
no. This is Deen, bro. This is Deen. This is religion, and we are not the one that invented. So it's Allah. We
Yeah.
do it
Yeah.
the way Allah commanded, the way Allah commanded us to do it. You understand? So we
So
don't
if at
follow
all you want to
people to
challenge,
follow
if
this.
at all you want to challenge any rule, just challenge Allah. No.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't
Challenge
try.
Allah, not us. Yeah, because it is
And
we are
that's not, that
worshipping.
is yeah, and it's unchallengeable again. So you so you just need
Of
to
course.
practice it. If you want to be a Muslim, you want to
Exactly.
practice it. So because I
And
used
when
to
we
tell
say
people, I
Islam,
met somebody. Yeah.
okay, and when
Yes.
we say
Continue.
Islam, and when we say Islam, what is Islam? Islam means you subjugate to Allah.
Yeah.
You submit yourself to Allah. It's a submission. So
Yeah.
how does this submission manifest? It manifests in your action, the way you try to act, the way you try to be committed to religious obligations. You understand? So that is how
Yeah.
this submission manifests. Not that you follow your desire, you say no, the religion said this, Allah said this, then I'm going to do the opposite. Or Allah said this. No, where is your submission? That means you're not submitting. So this is what
Yeah.
people really need to know. So it's about Islam, it's about submission. You have to submit yourself to Allah alone, to Allah's commandments. You have to submit yourself, meaning you won't have say, okay, yeah, this is it. You have no say in what Allah has already decreed and what He has already commanded. You have no say in that. That means that you are really, really submitting to Allah's commandments. But when you have a
Yeah.
say in Allah's decree, that means you are not really submitting to Him, which means we need to question your Islam at the first place. You
Yeah. Of
understand?
course. I've
So,
got.
so,
I
so
had
yeah, that's
somebody.
it.
I met somebody. So
Yeah,
he said he had a friend who is
yeah.
a Muslim and he's
Okay.
gay.
Oh,
So he said,
yeah,
I'm a Muslim gay. I was like,
yeah,
what do you mean? Do you want to tell me you're gay or do you want to say you're a Muslim? So you need to choose one because Islam
uh,
does not support being gay. So you can't
yeah,
say, yeah, you're worshiping Allah, then you're gay. So I was just telling the person the other day, and the person was just laughing and saying, yeah, I need to see his
yeah,
friend and tell them. I said, I can tell your friend. It's just a matter of speech. So we have freedom of
yeah,
speech. So I'm going to tell him. I won't fight him. I'm just going to tell him to choose.
yeah.
And if he says
It's
he
one
doesn't
of
want to
the
choose, let
yeah,
him go and challenge Allah if he wants to do that.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so, do you have
So
any other thing to say as a closing remark?
what I would just say is that to our audiences, to our audience that are watching us, so I would just like to tell them that this is Ramadan. It's a month of blessing. It's a month of answering prayers. It's a month that there is no, it's not like the other months. It's a month that is very, very significant. Therefore, we need to take advantage of it. It's an opportunity. Okay. There is this hadith that Prophet Muhammad said every day
Oh, some.
going to be redemption of people from Allah is going to redeem maybe like 70 in some narration, 70 people from hellfire.
Yeah,
Like every day of the Ramadan is going to redeem like 70 people from hellfire. So we at least we need to pray to be one of those people. Imagine being redeemed from hellfire to Al Jannah, to the paradise. This is something very significant, and it is something that
mm,
everyone wants. So we need to be very, very conscious about that. Therefore, we need to act in accordance with that. We need to try to, of course, we need to try to do a lot of ibadah, try to do a lot of worship, but we need to be very, very consistent. So fasting is not just about this physical fasting that we are fasting. We have spiritual fasting as well. Of course, it is spiritual in the first place, but by spiritual, I mean you have to be very, very spiritual in the sense that the way you try to connect with God, the way you try to connect yourself with the God, and also the way that fasting is going to impact your your soul and
yeah,
also your character, how you're going to be acting with people. Imagine someone who is fasting and is cheating on others. Imagine someone who is fasting and is betraying others. Imagine someone who is fasting and he is not praying. Imagine someone who is fasting and is doing a lot of vices, committing a lot of bad characters, hurting his neighbors or hurting her neighbors, and you say you're fasting. You're not really fasting. This fasting should impact your behavior. You understand? So yeah,
Yeah.
so that's Ramadan. We need to at least we need to increase our ibadah. We need to do a lot of askar. We need to do a lot of worship, and we know that any prayer, anything that is asked from Allah, Allah is going to answer us. And Allah has already said in the Surah Al-Baqarah, He said that, and He said in the Surah Al-Baqarah where He said, وَكُلْ He said, وَقُلْ رَبِّ ادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. That is not Surah
Astaghfirullah.
Al-Baqarah. ادْعُونِي
Yeah.
أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. Call upon me, I'm going to answer you. But in Surah Al-Baqarah, He said, وَقُلْ لِعِبَادِي الَّذِينَ أَنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِي. فلم
Um,
يستجب
فإذا سأل عبادي
فإذا سألك
يعني
عبادي عني فإني قريب أجيب دعوة الداعي إذا دعاني. So when my servant ask you Annie about when you my servant ask you about me, just tell the person that like I'm nearer to you than even your veins within your heart or your within your body. I'm nearer to you than that. So would you put that is that I answer the prayer of anyone that calls upon me. Okay, so if we are aware of that, if you have that in mind, then we need to do a lot of askar. We need to ask Allah for forgiveness, to ask for His mercy, to ask for salvation in the hereafter, which is very, very
yeah.
important. So yeah, so that's it.
Thank you, Brother Ridwan. So, as a Muslim in Ramadan, you should always be so fasting, forgiving people. And if at all you think you've committed any sin, be so fast in asking for forgiveness from the person and from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide every one of us, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give every one of us the full reward of Ramadan. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us the one of the people or one of the persons who are going to fast Ramadan for this year and many more years, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Thank you so much, Brother Radwan, for
Thank you
today.
for
So this is
having
an
me. And
impro. You're much welcome.
yeah,
This is an impromptu meeting. So we would
conversation.
try to
Yes, it's just a
organize
kind
it.
of conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we would try to organize it much more better next time. So
inshallah.
hopefully
Yeah,
it should
yes,
just inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala we would also be coming live. You can maybe turn on your notification because of next time
yeah,
so that
yeah.
when we come
Of
live
course.
you will be
Yeah,
able to
that
start
must be a
from the
that.
beginning.
Okay, when
We
are you
can't say
coming?
exact.
Like,
We can't say
okay,
exact the date, but
yeah, yeah.
we
So
because
it
of our
depends.
busy
It depends.
schedules, we both
Yeah,
have
because
busy
of busy
schedules.
schedule.
So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so we are just trying to do one or two things also just to benefit people in Ramadan, and so we can get the rewards also. That's part of it.
Yeah, yeah. Of
So
course, of course, of course, of course. It's part of getting the
so
money. Yeah,
yeah, so just turn on your notification, subscribe, and we would always come live whenever we're free. So we should be free in the next 1 or 2 days. So also, or maybe anytime. We can't guarantee. Hopefully, we get in the nearest future. We can give you a particular time saying on this day we are going to be live, and this time we are going to be live. But at this moment, we can't guarantee what exact time we are going to be live. So thank you all for your likes, and thank you all
you're
for your
welcome.
shares, and thank
You're
you
welcome.
all for your activities also on the live. Thank you, and see you guys next time. Salamu alaikum.